Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers and updates tease Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, may experience memory loss following his upcoming surgery. When he wakes up, will he think he's still married to Hope Logan? Annika Noel Beebe and B fans are aware that Liam opted for a risky procedure that could easily take a turn for the worse. While Liam did make it through the surgery, it doesn't guarantee he'll emerge as the same person he was prior. We're discussing a brain operation on Liam that is still in its nascent stages. The necessity of keeping everything under wraps speaks volumes about the associated risks. There's a chance that Liam might find himself in a coma for some time before he awakens. This can provide Hope and Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline Missins Wood, with yet another reason to hold Bill Spencer, Don Diamont, accountable for Liam's suffering. Nonetheless, the show might steer Liam's narrative in a different direction, one that could significantly affect Hope's romantic journey with Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor. When Liam believed his dire fate was unavoidable, he encouraged Hope to reconcile with Carter. He aimed to ensure that Hope had someone meaningful in her life after he was gone. Now that Liam has undergone this daunting brain surgery, we must contemplate the chance of some memory loss. While Liam's tumor could be excised, what if he experiences at least partial amnesia as a consequence? It would be fascinating if Liam awakened thinking he was still married to Hope. The show has explored similar plots before, such as when Steffy thought Liam was still her husband after Sheila Sharp, Kimberlin Brown, shot her alongside John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin. It could be Liam's turn to wake up believing that Hope is his wife. His mind might drift back to a time when he was blissfully married to Hope, so how would she react? Initially, Hope would be taken aback, but she might eventually warm up to the idea of starting anew with Liam. Even after Liam discovers the reasons behind their marriage's collapse, he could reassure Hope that it doesn't matter to him and that he simply desires a future with her. Carter might worry about losing Hope to Liam if he gets another shot at life. This concern is heightened if Liam's memories are altered and he thinks he's still Hope's husband. The air inside the hospital waiting room felt heavy, thick with tension and unanswered questions. After a risky emergency surgery to reduce swelling from a traumatic head injury, Liam Spencer's life still hung in a fragile balance. But as his loved ones waited for him to awaken, nobody expected the twisted reality Liam would wake up to, one where time seemed to have stopped in his mind. The fallout of Liam's surgery becomes the most dramatic and emotional storyline in The Bold and the Beautiful as the man who once stood between two women awakens into a world he doesn't recognize and believes he's still married to Hope Logan. Scene 1. The awakening that shatters everything. Finn stood at the foot of Liam's hospital bed, arms folded, chart in hand. He had been monitoring Liam for the past 48 hours and seen encouraging signs of recovery. But when Liam's eyes fluttered open, Finn wasn't prepared for the first words to slip from his patient's lips. Hope. Liam mumbled groggily, a faint smile forming as his gaze searched the room. Where are the kids? Finn froze. He leaned closer. Liam, you're in the hospital. You had surgery after a bad fall. Do you know what year it is? Liam blinked, looking genuinely confused. Of course, it's 2023. Hope and I. We just got back from that cabin trip with Beth and Douglas. Did something happen? Finn's breath caught in his throat. Liam, it's 2025. You and Hope, you're not together anymore. But Liam's frown only deepened. What are you talking about? We just renewed our vows. Is this some kind of joke? Scene 2. Hope confronts a past she thought she escaped. Hope stood just outside the room, listening. Finn had called her as soon as Liam woke up, warning her gently that something was off. But hearing Liam speak as if the last 2 years had never happened sent a chill down her spine. When she finally stepped in, Liam's face lit up like a man seeing his wife for the first time in weeks. Hope, he whispered, reaching for her hand, his eyes shining with affection. "I knew you'd come. I must have scared you half to death." Hope was frozen. "Liam," he squeezed her hand. "I missed you." Her heart broke. She glanced at Finn, who gave her a grim nod. He has retrograde amnesia. Everything after early 2023 is blank. That included their divorce, her relationship with Thomas, his downward spiral into obsession, and worst of all, Steffi's brutal rejection of him just weeks ago. Scene 3. Steffi's anguish. Torn between truth and trauma. Back at the Cliff House, Steffi received the call from Hope, asking her to come to the hospital immediately. She didn't hesitate. But when she entered Liam's room, she immediately felt like an intruder. Liam looked at her with polite confusion. "Hey, Steffi, you look great. How's Kelly? Is she still at the cabin with Beth?" Steffi felt her throat tighten. "Liam, Kelly's with me. She lives with me and Finn now." He tilted his head. "You and Finn? Wait, when did you two get back together?" Hope and Steffi exchanged a pained look. Steffi realized he had no memory of Sheila's shooting, no recollection of Finn's miraculous return, and none of the emotional havoc Sheila had brought to all their lives. For Liam, everything was stuck in a snapshot of peace and hope, a life that no longer existed. "I think we need to talk," she said quietly. Scene 4. The Logan vs. Forrester tug-of-war reignites. Brooke and Ridge soon found themselves on opposing sides again. Not over business, but over Liam's recovery. Brooke was adamant. Hope needs to be there for him, Ridge. He believes they're still married. We can't just rip that away from him. It could traumatize him further. Ridge, always pragmatic, countered. But living a lie isn't healthy either. The longer we let him believe he's with Hope, the worse the fallout will be when the truth comes out. Taylor, newly returned from her European humanitarian tour, found herself caught in the middle, urging compassion. He's vulnerable. Whether it's Hope or Steffi, he needs emotional consistency. But someone has to be honest with him. Scene 5. Thomas reacts. Hope's new loyalty shaken. Thomas Forrester, already struggling with the changes in his dynamic with Hope, was livid when he learned she had been at Liam's side for hours, holding his hand, speaking to him gently, even calling him honey when she accidentally slipped into old habits. "Are you really going to play house with him?" Thomas asked bitterly in the Forrester Creations office. "After everything we've been through." Hope looked stricken. "He's sick, Thomas. He genuinely believes we're still married. I can't just tell him he's been dumped and left behind. What if that breaks him?" "But we've built something real," he snapped. Or was that just convenient while Liam was spiraling? Hope's silence said more than words ever could. Scene 6. Bill's guilt and bold promise. Bill Spencer, despite all his power and ego, was tormented with guilt. It was his confrontation with Liam days prior. A violent argument over Liam's obsession with Steffi that had driven his son to storm out, angry, distracted, and ultimately vulnerable to the accident that followed. Now, standing beside his unconscious son days earlier, and watching him now, Bill whispered, "I'll fix this. I don't care what it takes." And just like that, the dollar bill side of him woke up, ruthless, calculating. If Liam needed to live in a fantasy to heal, then Bill would make sure everyone played their part, whether they wanted to or not. Scene 7. Luna's role and an unexpected twist. Meanwhile, Luna Nozawa, still shaken from the tension surrounding Liam's accident and the events that led up to it, began digging through hospital records and security footage. A quiet hunch tugged at her. Something about Liam's fall didn't make sense. And what she found shocked her. There was a brief lapse in the hospital camera system the night Liam was brought in, as if someone had tampered with it. Furthermore, a suspicious shadowy figure was seen loitering outside the Forrester parking garage near the time of Liam's accident. Could someone have pushed Liam? Suddenly, what looked like an accident might have been something far darker. And someone close to Liam might not want him to recover his memory at all. Scene 8. Liam's world begins to crumble. As the days pass, Liam begins noticing strange inconsistencies. Why does Hope look at him with such guilt? Why does Steffi avoid prolonged eye contact? Why does Wyatt flinch every time Liam mentions a future family vacation? He starts having fragmented dreams, flashes of shouting matches, crying, doors slamming, Hope walking away with tears in her eyes, and Thomas standing beside her. When Liam confronts Hope gently, she hesitates. There's more to the story, isn't there? Hope finally breaks. Liam, you don't remember everything because your mind is trying to protect you. But the truth is, we're not together anymore. You've changed. So have I. Liam's world shatters all over again. Scene 9. The choice Hope can't escape. As Liam's physical recovery continues, the emotional one lags behind. He oscillates between confusion, anger, and desperate longing. Hope is pulled into his orbit again, out of duty, compassion, and a piece of her heart that never truly let him go. But Thomas sees the writing on the wall. He's going to win you back, isn't he? Hope doesn't answer, because she doesn't know. For the first time in years, Liam seems like the version of himself she once loved, not the jealous, self-destructive man who hurt her. The accident reset him in more ways than one, and that's what scares her the most. Scene 10. A cliffhanger that changes everything. Just when everyone thinks things can't get more complicated, Liam receives a surprise visitor. Sheila Carter. She appears in the shadows outside his room, disguised in scrubs, watching him sleep. "Don't worry, sweetheart," she whispers. "You don't remember, but you will. And when you do, you'll know exactly who to blame." Her eyes flicker toward the camera in the hallway, which she's already hacked. And just like that, she vanishes into the night, leaving behind only questions and a growing storm. Closing thoughts. What happens when the past becomes a prison? Liam's surgery fallout has become more than just a medical emergency. It's now the heart of a psychological labyrinth where love, loss, and identity collide. Does Liam truly still love Hope? Or is he in love with a version of her that no longer exists? Can Hope risk her heart again, knowing how easily it was shattered before? And if Liam regains every memory, including the ugly ones, will the new man he seems to be disappear, taking her last hope with him? Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Boldy and BAUGTFULUPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.